Okay, everyone. Hi. Welcome to SBR Sports Fix. My name is Peter Loshak. This is Loshak in the Bag Show for Tuesday afternoon, January 29th. Of course, Jimmy the Bag is out sick, but he is on the road to recovery, and he will be back quite soon, sooner than we think. And it'll be great when Jimmy the Bag is finally recovered and finally back with us. As of right now, I am holding down the fort. And, of course, we have all the usual guests in the comments section. And joining us via video today, we're going to have Ski Profit joining us to cover the NBA card. And, of course, we're going to have Maxwell Smart, who is joining us every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday to cover the big college basketball cards. A lot of interesting lines that we looked at in the morning show today. We'll see where the lines have moved, and we'll find out what Ski Profit and Maxwell Smart think about possible betting value that exists right now. Once again, you're watching SBR Sports Fix. My name is Peter Loshak. This show is being sponsored by Bet Online. Shout out to Bet Online. All right, let's get into it. We got a lot of crap to cover. Not that much time here, relatively. All right, so here we go. Let's see. What do we have here? Comments coming in. I'm just going to look at some comments, a ton of comments coming in on all these games. First of all, NHL, of course, is starting up the second half, and with the NHL, you always want to be very careful, and NBA, when the second half of the season starts up. Expect the unexpected. Yesterday, money did come in on Winnipeg against Philly, but Philly was a live home dog, and they did cash. You're going to see a lot of uncertainty, and then when the wave starts to become more recognizable after each team has a few games under their belt, you can jump on those waves and start to ride them to profit, as Jimmy the Bag and I have done for a season and a half now in NHL. Both of us are significantly up in NHL. Yesterday I did wind up taking Winnipeg -1. Market agreed with it, and it wound up being a loser. Today we just have 3 games in the NHL. We'll get to that in a second. First, I want to. Let me see. Hold on. First, I want to just identify some comments here, handicapping comments that I can copy and paste and save for future minutes in this show. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Cash Action Bets talking about Pistons money line and the under. Yes, the Pistons and the Milwaukee game was a highly debated game in the morning show. Comments just exploding in here. DT Doug says Bucks first half, please. I already gave that in the morning show as an official play. Let me see. Comments coming in. Hold on 1 second. Let me see. Just comments coming in. Rich Money likes the Texas money line again. Some interesting line movement there. I talked about this in the morning show. Texas, obviously on paper, this looks like it has Kansas written all over it, but Texas flipped from a home underdog to a home favorite. I was talking about how the line movement by this time will probably tell us something about where the right side might be. I said that if it flips back to Kansas being the favorite, that might be the market trying to tell you something. Instead, we've seen further line movement favoring Texas. They're now up to 1.5 or 2. So clearly the market liking Texas quite a bit here, despite the fact that at first glance it would seem that the game would have Kansas written all over it. We'll talk about that, of course, when Maxwell Smart joins us. Let me see. Other comments coming in, then we'll quickly mention the NHL games today. And let's see. Other comments. Let's see. Rusty Shackelford says Kansas is the better team. Of course. Definitely. And yet we're seeing a significant line move in favor of Texas. All right. Let's see. Comments coming in. Hobie Valentine says, I think Kansas is going to have problems with the Texas big men. Kansas is suspect downloaded talented big men without Azubuike. Yes. Obviously, it's been a different story with Azubuike out for Kansas. Looking at comments here, Rusty Shackelford says Kansas wins. All right, okay. I'm just scanning comments here. Kobe Valentine saying he likes St. Joe's +9 and money line. That was the play. I'm not copying Kobe Valentine here. That was the play that I identified as a play that I was particularly liking. The line has moved in St. Joe's favor. We'll see if Maxwell Smart agrees with that. But that was one play that I definitely had circled, along with Alabama. Oh, there you go. All right. I think this is a good sign. Kobe Valentine and I agreeing on Alabama and St. Joe's. The Wisconsin game is tricky. Strong line move in favor of Nebraska. Obviously, Wisconsin has been turning a bit of a corner ATS recently, and Nebraska having all kinds of issues ATS-wise and losing their top player. But, the line has moved in their favor, which has me scratching my head a little bit. In the morning show, I talked about Alabama. I was definitely leaning Alabama, didn't make it an official play. The line was moving against them, wanted to see what Maxwell Smart had to say about it. And with my further research, I was also liking St. Joe's here. We'll see if Maxwell Smart agrees with that. The market has moved in St. Joe's favor for sure. They opened at 11, down to 9. All right, let's see. Other comments coming in. And I think that is it. Hold on one second. Let's see. Sacktown King, how's everyone feeling about South Carolina today? I gave them first half +5 -122. Would also vaguely be leaning towards them +8.5. Obviously, Tennessee is a formidable opponent. This is going to be a very, very tough game, obviously, for South Carolina. Toughest game of the year for them. I think they're going to be up for it to keep it close, at least in the first half. All right, so let's see. All right. Let's see. Okay, hold on one second. I'm just scanning here. And then we'll get into NHL, and then we'll quickly go to Ski Profit, and we'll talk with Ski Profit about NBA. Okay, Cash Action Bets likes Houston in the under. We'll talk about in a second. Joe Anisich loves Wisconsin today. We'll talk about this one in the college basketball section, wondering why the line has moved so strongly in Nebraska's favor. Okay. All right, so once again, we'll quickly touch on the 3 NHL games that are going tonight. I did give the first period over in Philly Rangers. That's the only pick that I have live so far. Georgiev is in for the Rangers. He's been doing well at home, though, but in general, pretty vulnerable. And, of course, Stolarz is in for Philly. And Mr. Gokster likes the full game over, which I would agree with as well, predicting close to 10 goals here. I gave the first period over. I might triple up on this one, giving the second period over and the full game over as well. I was also leaning Rangers, but the line has gotten bet strongly in Philly's favor. I am expecting Philly to be a little bit undervalued going forward in the second half, despite the fact that I bet against them yesterday. So I'm not going to pull the trigger on that one here, but I'm definitely liking the over in that one. I took the first period over as an official play. That's my only official play so far, and I would be leaning full game over as well. Philly and the Rangers. The Boston-Winnipeg game, kind of tough. Obviously, a big line move in favor of Boston. Halak is in, and he should be okay. I think it's going to be a pass for me, although I'd be leaning Winnipeg team total over for sure on this one. Winnipeg team total over. And then the Buffalo-Columbus game, we talked about that in the morning show. I was leaning Columbus, but the line is a little bit too steep here, and other people were suggesting the same. And this is exactly the kind of game where you might get caught by surprise early in the second half of the regular season. So I think I'm going to pass on that one. Bobrovsky, I'm seeing, is in goal. At first I saw Korpisalo, but now it's Bobrovsky confirmed, along with Carter Hutton for Buffalo. Definitely leaning Columbus here. Definitely leaning Philly Rangers over. Already gave Philly Rangers first period over, and definitely leaning Winnipeg on the team total over as well. We'll get into NHL in a second. Let me just quickly make some decisions here on what I want to add. Yeah, the Winnipeg team total over 2.5 -117. Very tempting to take. Very tempting to take here. I think Winnipeg's going to put up some goals. I think they should be able to score a bit. And I'm going to take Winnipeg here on the team total over. I will make this one an official pick. I'll add it on. Winnipeg, team total over 2.5, -117. I'll make that one an official play. Winnipeg, team total over 2.5, -117. If it loses, that's all right. Other leans, full game over in the Rangers game. Let me just see what that would be if we bought down to 6 here at Pinnacle. And the other play I'm thinking about is taking Columbus. Columbus. All right, hold on one second. Let me just see what we got here. We'll look for any comments coming in. Let me just scan. All right, let me see. Mr. Gokes are leaning to the under in Buffalo Columbus. Hutton should bounce back after a horrible end to the first half. What's that? What's that? We got some feedback here. I'm hearing myself. What? Okay, should I stop talking? What are we going to do here? No? Keep talking. All right, great. Excellent. All right, let's see. Other comments that are coming in. Let me see. Gate Pass Key says, Jets want to slow it down after a sloppy game last night. Yeah, might have made a mistake here, but, that's a lean that I was liking. And Christopher Comatini says the Jets have value. I would vaguely agree with that as well. People in the morning show are suggesting that the Jets -1 might be a good play. We're going to talk about college basketball in a second. 49ers for Life likes all dogs first quarter in the NHL today. And Kylie Reynolds says Winnipeg team total over. I'm on it as well. Donald Mao loves Columbus as well. All right, let me just see let me just quickly check one thing, and then we'll get into NBA. Hold on one second. Give me a second here. NHL included. I do sometimes like to bet down, although this might not be necessary. Yeah, over 6 -139, and I will take that one. I'm going to take Philly Rangers over 6 minus 139. I think we're going to see goals here. Be a little bit safe here and bet down to take it at 6 minus 139, just in case it's not quite as explosively scoring as Mr. Gokster and myself are expecting. I'm on Winnipeg team total over, and then the Columbus -1 line looks tempting, man. I understand it's a big line. Maybe I'll just throw this one on there. Let me just think for a second. Columbus -1. What do you guys think? All right. Bruce Ian says Columbus wins. Good pick. Donald Mal loves Columbus. Carter, Mr. Gokster says that he thinks Carter Hutton's going to have a nice bounce back game here. All right, I'll stay off that one. I'll stay off Columbus, although it'll be annoying if they do win by more than one, and I could have added another unit. I'm going to add on Philly Rangers over 6 minus 139, Winnipeg team total over 2.5 minus 117, and in the morning show, of course, I gave Philly Rangers first period over 1.5 as well. All right, now let's move on to an NBA with Ski Profit. Ski Profit, welcome to the Low Shack and the Bag Show. Some interesting stuff on the NBA card. I'm very, very interested to see what you're going to tell us you're liking. Ski Profit, welcome to the show.
What's going on, Low Shack? I'm doing well today. I don't know how you want to do it, if you want to go down the card or if you just want me to tell you my favorite plays or
Okay, well, let's start with maybe the most interesting game on the card, which is Houston and New Orleans. Now, I might have made a mistake here because I took the Houston team total under first half and full game. You know, we know that Anthony Davis is going to be out here. We know that Chris Paul is back. Sometimes slows things down. We know that Houston has not been great ATS-wise, despite the fact that Harden's been going off game in and game out, and the market's moved in Houston's favor. What's your take on this one, Ski Profit?
I feel like New Orleans has too many people out.
Yeah.
I mean, you have Mirotic out, Anthony Davis out, Etuan Moore is out, Julius Randle's not playing. Look at the starting lineup. It's not really anybody in there. It's a guy I went to high school with starting. And I just don't see much resistance from New Orleans. They play again tomorrow. Houston, they're getting CP3 back. I kind of was thinking the same way you were. He would slow the pace down. But after seeing, like, they just don't really have much resistance on New Orleans side.
Yeah.
I think Houston just rolls.
I might have made a big mistake here. Cash Action Bets likes Houston and the under. So what about just the under for this game or the Pelicans team total under?
If I had to do the total,
tough one, right?
I would probably lean towards the over. Yeah, it's tough. I know New Orleans doesn't really play too much defense, and Houston doesn't want to play too much defense either. And if I look at the pace, New Orleans 11th in pace the last 5 games, and Houston's 15th. So I would think they just run up and down the court without people playing defense, and they continue to score.
All right. I probably made a huge mistake taking the Houston team total under. Maybe I'll get bailed out by variance. You know, sometimes you just got to pray for that. Then the only other game I want to ask you about to make sure that we get to, of course, we'll get to every game. Milwaukee, obviously they're in a bounce back spot here, but maybe they've proved themselves enough that they're not actually looking to establish some confidence again here. And maybe it's a trap to look at this and say it's an automatic play on Milwaukee. A lot of people in the morning show saying that they like Milwaukee -6. The line's gotten bet up. I took Milwaukee first half and first quarter. What do you think, Ski?
At home, Milwaukee always wins by double digits, but I don't think so much away. Mm-hmm. And lately, they've been winning, but not covering.
Yeah.
They're 6-1 straight up their last 7, and their last 5 against the spread, they're 1-3-1. So they win, but they don't cover. And the spots you want to bet on them to cover the double digits, like I said, is at home. I like this game a lot, but I like the total more. Detroit, the last 5 games, they've been playing very slow. They're 27th in pace. And these two teams, their defensive rating, the Bucks are first, the Pistons are third. So we're going to get defense. It's going to be a slower paced game. The Bucks they may pull away. It may be a closer game, but I just think it's a slow game. The under 5 of the last 6 is hit for Milwaukee. And it's hit 10 of the last 13 in their road games. And it's hit the last 8 games. Detroit's been a dog. So I like this under a lot right here.
Yeah, the total has gotten bet down 217.5 to 216. Bet 365 still has, actually the Greek still has 217. That's tempting. And what do you think about maybe the Detroit team total under as well, which would be a 104.5?
Yeah, I would say that's going in line with what I think, because their pace is slow. They're 27th in pace, and Bucks are going to play defense. It's going to be more of a defensive game, slower game. So I would like that.
All right, Ski Profit. We have 5 other games on the card. What's your favorite play out of the rest of the card?
Okay. Well, I did take that under 216.5 in the Milwaukee game, and the other play that I have already is going to be on the Spurs. The Spurs against the Suns. The Suns, they haven't been playing good at all. If you look at their stats, the last 5 games, they're 30th offensive rating. That's last in the league. 30th in defense. 30th in rebounding. Like, what are they doing well? They've been missing Aiden the past 5 games since he sprained his ankle. They were missing Rashawn Holmes, although he's back now. But I just think Spurs at home, they're dominant at home. They're 13-3 their last 16 home games. The last time these two teams played, I think the Spurs blew them out by 25 and then by 30. The Spurs don't have DeMar DeRozan, but they're a deep team, much deeper than Phoenix. I think the Spurs roll. I like the Spurs minus 13. That's my play.
In the morning show, a lot of people were saying the Spurs minus whatever, and a lot of comments were coming in on San Antonio. Not much that I saw on. In fact, I don't think I saw anyone in the morning show saying that they liked Phoenix. What about Chicago against Brooklyn? We know that Brooklyn has some personnel issues. A lot of guys are out. They're on a back-to-back. They're a little bit fatigued. Chicago not a good team, but I still feel like they have some life to them. And I gave Chicago first half and first quarter as official plays in the morning show. What's your take on that?
I didn't look much into the first quarter, first half, but just like you said, Brooklyn's fatigued. They have players that are banged up, and I know they've been playing well lately. They've been winning and covering, and Chicago has been doing the exact opposite. They're 1-13 straight up their last 14, and only 3 of those games they lost by less than 7. But I mean, when you look at Brooklyn, the thing that holds me up, they're 2-8 against the spread on the second half of a back-to-back. And this is one of those spots right here. I know the line was 7 earlier. I saw it at 6.5 a little bit ago. I kind of think Chicago may hang around and cover this game. Maybe, they could win, but they'll probably just cover.
Okay, sounds good. And in the meantime, we have our first opinion coming in favoring Phoenix, and it's a doozy. It's a big one. Dan Kelly, I am on Phoenix money line plus 185. So Dan Kelly, not only thinking that Phoenix might have some value on the spread, thinks they have a legitimate chance of winning the game outright, and took them on the money line plus 875. That's what I was thinking as well. I'm just not sure that the Spurs are going to get up for this game. I was thinking maybe about the first half as well. But okay, let's see what else. Mally Mal likes the Bulls. Yep, I took the Bulls first quarter, first half. Geghard A says Suns money line is insanity. Okay.
Right.
Dan Kelly's insanity, like, call me crazy.
I know Dan Kelly likes those big scores, and I don't knock anybody for how they bet or any of that. Go for your score. I won't talk anybody off of plus 550. I told you why I like the Spurs, and I just think they roll.
Okay. Jay Scum likes this. Yep. Mally Mal says Spurs easy. Glenn Elliott Man says Spurs and over. So it's Dan Kelly against the world, or at least the world of the Low Shack in the Bag Show comments section. Gerald Martinez says Phoenix will not win this game. Colin P 123 says, hey Pete, can I get a birthday pick for you today? Well, I'm not allowed to say no to birthday pick requests. So yes, the answer is yes. I'm gonna have to think about what I want to give. Hopefully there won't be things won't be too much of a whirlwind, and I'll forget when we're talking college basketball with Maxwell Smart. All right, Ski Profit. Another play that Dan Kelly liked was Washington against Cleveland, and this line has gotten a bet significantly up. It opened at 6. It's now up to 7.5 or 8. And Dan Kelly liked first quarter, first half, full game. What do you think? Does Washington roll here? They're coming off a loss. Before that, though, they were covering game in and game out.
I just want to touch on really quick the under in the Chicago and Brooklyn.
Okay.
The under is 31-19 in favor of the under for Chicago, and 20-9 in conference games. And for Brooklyn, it's 18-14 in conference games, and under for the last 5 at home. So I think the under may have some value there. And as far as Washington, when I woke up this morning, I was thinking maybe I'll take Washington. And they're 10-3 against the spread last 13, although they're 3-9 their last 12 road games. I don't know. I have a hard time trusting Washington. I know they're a little better without John Wall, but I just don't really want to put my money on that team.
All right,
but I would lean for them to cover.
Yeah, the Chicago-Brooklyn total has gotten bet significantly up, though, from 217 to 220. That makes me a little bit nervous. And again, Dan Kelly loves Washington. The market loves Washington, and maybe they're still worth a play. But I can understand why you'd want to hold off on that one. And then let's talk about OKC against Orlando. The total's gotten bet up a little bit. Orlando has taken some money down from 5.5 down to 4 or 4.5. This is a head scratcher for me, and I think I'm going to pass on it. What do you like here, if anything?
I don't really like to go against Orlando getting points at home. And this is a game I kind of thought you might like, Pete. I kind of think OKC may win this game, even though I just said Orlando is not a team I want to go against with the points. OKC has been playing well. They're in the month of January, they're second in points per game, and they're number one in pace. Their offensive rating is 6. They've been scoring. It's my bad. They're 46% from the 3 in their last 5 games while they've been on this win streak. In Orlando, they're 25th defending the 3. So I just see it to be a fast-paced game, and OKC continues the offensive onslaught. Like, are we going to get resistance? They're 25th defending the 3. They're shooting 46% from the 3 the last 5 games. I just see a lot of points from OKC's side.
Yeah, the total has gotten bet up. People were suggesting that maybe the OKC team total over might be worth a play. That is now at 113. That's tempting to take OKC Orlando over, maybe the first half over, something like that. And in the meantime, we do have a couple more opinions coming in on Phoenix. Zlato Vucevic likes Phoenix plus 13, and Based Kenneth likes Suns plus 8.5. First half is nice. Definitely feels like a contrarian play there, and I'm thinking that Phoenix might be something that I might tail here last minute. On the other hand, we have Big Win Sports as Spurs by 30. Okay. All right.
Do you have any opinion on the total in OKC game, Pete?
I'm sorry?
Do you have any opinion on the OKC total?
No, not really. I mean, right now I would tail the over if I had to. OKC is obviously no. I would have a slight lean to the over for sure. Basically tailing the market movement. And then quickly, Philly Lakers. Anything to say about that? Because we do want to get to Maxwell Smart. There's a 6:00 college basketball game, and we want to try to get to him at least a minute or two before 6:00. What do you have to say about Philly Lakers? Ski Profit.
There's nobody playing for the Lakers. Lonzo's out. Kuzma's out. LeBron is out. I mean, Philly, everybody's playing for Philly. I don't see any reason why you would want to back the Lakers. We haven't shown you any reason why you want to back us without those players playing. And Philly's has everybody playing. They're healthy. I wouldn't stand in the way.
Okay.
I would take Philly.
All right, sounds good. So once again, Ski Profit, your top plays from the NBA card.
They're going to be Milwaukee under 216.5, and it's going to be Spurs minus 13.
All right. Ski Profit, thanks so much. We want to get to Maxwell Smart right now just because there is a 6:00 college basketball game that everyone's talking about, Ohio against Northern Illinois. So we want to get Maxwell Smart's opinion on that. Ski Profit, thanks so much. We'll talk to you again very soon.
Thanks for having me.
Okay. Is Maxwell Smart ready? What do we got here? Oh, there we go. Maxwell Smart. Maxwell Smart geared up to talk about the college basketball card, adjusting his hat. Ready to go, figuring out how he wants to look on camera. We ready to go? Max, you there?
We're good. Yeah, I'm here, Peter. How are you, man?
I'm doing well. Let's save all the niceties for 6:01 Eastern time, though, because a lot of people are asking about, the 6:00 college basketball game, Ohio against Northern Illinois. What about a slight lean to the under, maybe, but it's dropped a couple of points. So now I'm going to stay off it. Do you have any opinion on Ohio, Northern Illinois? Anything tailable for all the people watching right now?
Yeah, I was going to be leaning with Northern Illinois when this number came out at -6.5. I didn't play it because I saw that there was some pretty significant line movement coming in, but I'm still going to go with Northern Illinois. I think that this is a team on the rise, and I just can't back an Ohio team with Tevion Kirk, who's going to turn the ball over 5 times, and he's going to shoot 20% from 3 and 56% from the free throw line. I can't trust a guy like that. I love Jason Taylor. And I like the defense that they're playing right now. I think that they're coming off a really good game at home, but I think that on the road tonight, Northern Illinois is going to be the play. I may be wrong, I could be wrong, but I'm going against the line movement. I'm just going to take the 4 points with the team that I think is going to be better on home court.
Okay, sounds good. So that's it. I'm going to pass on that one. So once again, you are liking Northern Illinois for anyone who wants to tail Maxwell Smart in the next 5 minutes, right?
Yeah, I am.
All right, Maxwell Smart. So let's get into the big college basketball. It's not a huge card, but there's a lot of interesting games that everyone is wondering about. The first one, let's start with Tennessee, South Carolina. This is the one play that I did give in the morning show. I gave South Carolina first half +5 -122. I'd be leaning South Carolina full game as well. South Carolina seems a little undervalued at home right now. Obviously, Tennessee, just great offensively. They shoot a huge percentage from the field. They do everything well. I'm thinking, though, that South Carolina getting this many points might have some value. What's your take, Max?
Yeah, this is going to be a clear motivation spot for Tennessee. It's really going to be how they want to approach this game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually going to be leaning with your first half play. I think that I can only get +4 right now, so I did miss the number on it. But I think that if you get Chris Silva and he stays out of foul trouble, and AJ Lawson's making some jump shots, which he has done very nicely in conference play to the tune of a 5-1 South Carolina record, I think that you got to really be cautious with this Tennessee team. They're going to have a lackluster couple games in the next couple on their schedule, and I think that tonight South Carolina is the type of gritty team that, at least in the first half, can stay in it. But it's all going to come down to how Chris Silva and Kyle Alexander match up, because Tennessee does some things that are really good. They make free throws, they don't turn the ball over, and they play decent three-point defense. But South Carolina plays good three-point defense at home. So if you're going to ask me to force a play on this, I'm definitely going to be agreeing with your first half play, even though I can only get +4. And I'd be leaning actually to see Tennessee make adjustments at halftime and cover a number. I'd be trying to get 7.5 to cover an 8.
All right. And what do you think about the under? I was thinking maybe a shot with the under. What do you think?
I got no play on the under right now, but from what I've seen from my fellow LoBaggers, a lot of them are favoring the under. And I think that in this kind of game, South Carolina doesn't want to play a game in the 80s. They want to play in the game in the mid-60s and low 70s.
That's what I was thinking as well. So I was leaning under. Maybe I'll throw on the under last minute here. Let's keep moving on down the line. Toledo against Miami of Ohio. Miami has covered 3 in a row. Toledo is clearly overvalued right now after a nice ATS start to the season. Toledo pounded Miami in the first matchup, but this is a suspiciously low line. Maybe Miami is a sneaky good play here. What do you think?
Yeah, Miami, Ohio's coming off a pretty good win where Nike Sabande did not have a good game, and they really relied on Delonte Brown and Darian Ringo. I think that it's going to really come down to a guy named Bam Bowman. He's really got to take his three-point shots and really make himself available for good passes, because the focus is going to be on Delonte and Nike tonight. So I think that Miami, Ohio does have revenge. They do have home court, and I think that their home court advantage is in play here. But I think that Toledo is just going to be able to overpower them. I think that 1 through 5, they have a lot of depth scoring wise, and they share the ball really well. I like Willie Jackson. I like how he's turning into a really nice double guy, and he's getting all the offensive glass too. Toledo makes their free throws, and in a tight game like this, I'd rather have Toledo -2.5 or -3, knowing that they're going to hit maybe 80% of their free throws.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm an inch away from taking the South Carolina under. I'm still thinking about that while you're talking. Maxwell Smart, let's move on to Central Michigan and Eastern Michigan, right? Both of these teams have been great ATS in January. I don't know. This is a tough one. I think I'm just going to stay off it. Central Michigan off 3 straight-up losses. I guess I'd be leaning Central Michigan here, but feels like the line is dead on. Again, this might be a classic situation where you look at this line pregame, looks like it's pretty accurate as far as the market valuations are concerned, and you want to look to a live betting or second half betting for the best value here. What do you think, Max?
Yeah, this has been a game I've been struggling with all day because I do watch a lot of MAC ball, and I've watched Central Michigan a ton right now. So I really like their pieces right now, but I think that against a team that plays zone like Eastern Michigan and does have very good length through the 2 through 5 position, I think that it's going to really come down to, does Eastern Michigan close out on Central Michigan's three-point shooters? This is an in-state rivalry game. Central Michigan's going to want to win this game, and they've actually been quite adaptable in style of pace so far this year. They've won games that have been high scoring, and they've also won rock fights. I think they're in for a rock fight tonight. And if I'm going to play this game, I'm going to try and take Eastern Michigan on the first half, and then hope that Central Michigan and their offense light it up in the second half, make adjustments at halftime, and cover the 2.5 or 3 points.
And what about the under? If this turns into a rock fight and the zone defense is effective, maybe we see an under here and maybe a first half under as well?
I think that you definitely got to play it first half under, and then make a play on the second half or live. But with Eastern Michigan's success, they're not going to play games like they played against Buffalo. Ever since the Buffalo game, they have been pretty good ATS, and I think that they're just undervalued tonight. So I'm going to take them on the first half, and then I'm also going to just rely on the fact that college basketball is constantly a tale of two halves, and the team that's down makes adjustments and comes out hungry in the second.
Yeah, the first half is 69, which seems a little high to me. Eastern Michigan, of course, had a very high first half game in their last game on the road against Western Michigan. But I'm thinking that probably Eastern Michigan's success is correlated with the under, or at least in the first half. Or is that not the way you would feel as well?
Yeah, I would feel that way, but it's going to come down also to Eastern Michigan's fouling.
Mm-hmm.
If they put Central Michigan on the line, who's a naturally aggressive team driving with Larry Austin and Sean Roundtree, who are very good drivers, then you're going to have problems. That's going to be the only issue with me taking the under in the first half.
Yeah.
But if Eastern Michigan has their way, which I think that they will defensively in the first half, I think that the under is going to be a solid play.
Okay, and then we have Ball State against Buffalo. Ball State, of course, has lost 5 out of their last 6 against the spread, but Buffalo also a little bit overvalued right now as well, despite an ATS win in their last game. Ball State has great offensive numbers, and we know that Buffalo likes to play a fast pace in general. I was thinking maybe a shot with the first half under, but I think I'm going to pass here. What's your take on this one? An interesting game. Ball State at Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to go with the dog on this game.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched a lot of Buffalo games, and what I'm seeing from Buffalo is that they are very lackluster until about 7 minutes left in the game, where you really see that their defense is turning on. And that also has a lot to do with their rotation. When they're playing Dante Carruthers and McCray out with Jordan, Massenberg, and Perkins, I think that they have a very good defensive unit. Then you can sub Jeremy Harris in and out of there. But against a team like Ball State, who has 2 capable big men, I want to see a lot of pick and roll. I want to see some double screens up top. I want to see you really plant those guys up top to give KJ Walton, who's a fantastic driver, the opportunity and the space to get to the lane with ease. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go with Ball State tonight. I'm going to take the double-digit dog. I think that in these conference games, when you're going to give me double digits with a team that has a lot of offensive fluidity, I'm just going to have to take it and just not think too hard about it. So give me Ball State full game.
Okay, Ball State full game. I'm looking. Mally Mal has some comment here. He's posting under. I don't know. I think that was when we were talking about the Eastern Michigan, Central Michigan game, and I might add on some plays here in the show, or tweet them out. Ball State, it's tempting to take Ball State here. That's what I was thinking. They have lost 5 out of the last 6, but they shoot good free throws. They're good at free throw shooting, and that can really matter when you're getting double digits like Ball State is. Let's talk about UNC Georgia Tech, right? Obviously, Georgia Tech is great defensively against a 3-point shot. They oftentimes can pull teams down into a very low-scoring games. I guess the under is the obvious play here. Is it too obvious? Maybe it is. I think I'm going to pass on this one, but if you gave me a free play, I'd do the obvious thing and throw it on the under. What do you think, Max?
Yeah, it's really going to come down to Georgia Tech's 3-point defense. Mm-hmm. It's the one area that I think that they have a significant advantage. But when you look at North Carolina's size, when they could bring Kenny Williams and you see Cam Johnson and Luke May, they got a lot of size that they can roll at you. And I think that the X factor for this team is always going to be Kobe White. If Kobe White has a good game, then North Carolina is probably going to walk through Georgia Tech. I think that Georgia Tech's had their time in the light, and they've played against the lower tier ACC teams. So I'm going to actually just simply take North Carolina minus the 10.5. I'm going to buy the half-point down. Obviously, I missed a good number, but I do like that the number has moved in the way that I was leaning. So I think that North Carolina can win this game. I think that they can cover. So I'm just going to freaking get on it and just let it ride. I'm not going to think too hard about it.
All right. We got a lot of great comments coming in. Mally Mal says Eastern Michigan 9-0 to the under after they blow a team out, and 6-0 after they score 90+. And in this kind of a rivalry game, I'd be leaning under as well. And I think I am going to add on the, Mally Mal likes the EMU under. Shout out to Mally Mal. Shout out to Mally Mal. I don't know how many times I've tailed you over the past 3 or 4 weeks. Many times and done well. Last time I remember was Duke first half yesterday, -8. Huge shout out to Mally Mal. All right, while I think about what I want to go official with, here we go. The Virginia-NC State game. Everyone has been asking about this, right? NC State has lost 5 out of their last 6 ATS. Virginia, how many in a row have they won? They're just absolutely dominating ATS game in and game out. So why then has the market taken a significant move in favor of NC State here? NC State opened at 8, now down to 7 or 7.5. That's someone who's betting something, thinking, and the market respects that action and that opinion. What's your take, Max?
Yeah, this is a classic situation where you're setting yourself up for a cold bowl of cock soup. But I am one of these people that just cannot be stopped from doing the same thing over and over again. And I know better than to get in front of Virginia. I'm going to take Virginia. They are one of the most efficient offensive Virginia teams that I've seen. They are not taking any games lightly because this is a core roster that lost to a 16 seed in the NCAA tournament. I think that NC State was very, very lucky to beat Clemson. Clemson let them back into that game with missed free throws and turnovers. So I think that you're not going to get a Braxton Beverly 3-point shot to win the game. And I think that Virginia is going to freaking take note of the fact that they just had a great game versus Clemson. I mean, a bad game versus Clemson. I think that they're going to just expose them. You give me Kyle Guy and Ty Jerome and DeAndre Hunter, and I'll bet on them every game. So give me Virginia first half, give me Virginia full game, and I will go with the over in this game. I think that this is going to be a efficient offensive game. I could be dead fucking wrong and slurping cock soup at 9 o'clock, but I will take it anyways because I am just hard-headed. And I think that Virginia is going to score points tonight.
No, I mean, these market moves in college basketball are often, wrong, especially modest moves like this. So Maxwell Smart likes Virginia despite a market move in favor of NC State, and Maxwell Smart likes the over despite a market move to the under. It opened at 139.5 down to 136.5. And Sanjay Throwdeep asked me to specifically ask you, do you like the side or the total more? If you could only bet one of them, Virginia minus the points or the over, which would you take, Max?
The side, absolutely. 100%. Yeah.
All right. Now we're coming up to the next most interesting game of the card, Kansas against Texas, right? Texas has been terrible ATS. They had a terrible defensive game against Georgia in their last game. Kansas has also been overvalued. They've lost 4 in a row ATS. It seems that this, on paper, it would have Kansas written all over it, but we've seen a significant market move here in favor of Texas. Do you agree with the market move, Max?
Oh, I was devastated when I saw this move because I just don't get it. I know that Kansas doesn't have Azubuike, but I think that they're going to adapt to not playing with him. I think that the main issue for me when I watch Kansas basketball is the three-point shooting. The three-point shooting is way worse on the road than it is at home. It's not good at home, but is Dedrick Lawson going to be stopped tonight? Is anyone able to stop him on Texas? I think that with his athleticism and his positioning, when he goes and calls for the ball, that's pretty hard stuff to not foul him, even if you bring a second man over. So this is a game that I'm definitely not going to be betting. But if you twist my arm, I'm going to go with Texas because Texas is going to want this game probably a lot more than Kansas does. And I think that Texas was in a look-ahead spot in their last game. And I think that they'll be ready tonight because Shaka Smart, if he's not on the hot seat, he better be on the hot seat because that guy's going to the strip club and the strippers are beating him with a cock soup paddle. And that is just plain out of this freaking world.
Right. What a way to wrap up the analysis of the Kansas-Texas game. When I'm looking at this game, once again, I'm thinking live betting. I'm thinking second half betting. The line move is very interesting, and we'll have a lot of questions answered about how these teams are matching up against each other once the game starts. Game like this has live betting and second half betting written all over it. Another game, very interesting. The two top teams in the Atlantic, in the ASUN, Lipscomb against Liberty, both have been very good ATS on the year. The total has gotten bet up. I was thinking that the over might be the play here. I think both teams are going to score. I know Liberty, plays very good defense and holds teams down. But Lipscomb, I think, is going to be able to put up points. I think both of these teams likely to get into the upper 60s at least. And I'd be leaning over, even though the total has gotten bet up from opening. What do you think here, Max?
Yeah, everybody knows that I'm a big Liberty fan. I love Richie McKay. I love this state of Virginia defense that every school in Virginia seems to be playing right now. It's called Pack Line, and it's fucking really efficient. But this is a really scary game for my Liberty Flames. They are going up against a very good Lipscomb team, a team that has Garrison Matthews shooting on all angles right now. The dude's insane from the free throw line. And I just watched them play Stetson, and they didn't even even need their 2-star guys, and they still cover the 19.5 points on Sunday. So this is going to be a real tough game. I think that's going to really come down to who plays better defense, who controls pace, and who wins on the offensive glass. Because what I watched from Liberty against their game against Jacksonville, where they had a 9-point lead, blew it, fell behind by 9, had to come back, and eventually covered, was these guys actually showed cracks in their freaking armor. They got mad at each other on the floor and in timeouts where you could visibly see them yelling at each other. After Coach McKay settled them down, they went on a 14-0 run or something, a 14-2 run, ended up taking the lead and ended up covering the spread for me and all my friends. So in this game, I think that they're finally going to meet their match in the Atlantic Sun. They've walked through a lot of teams and they've really surprised a lot of teams. I think that tonight, Lipscomb, at least on the first half, is going to be worth a play. I actually will be betting the over in this game.
Yes.
These are two very, very efficient free throw shooting teams. And I think that they have the kind of guys and the basketball IQ to get the ball in the right guy's hands at the right time in the game. So we get our over tonight. And usually I'd be betting Liberty unders, but I think against this kind of talented Lipscomb team, I got to take the over.
That's what I was thinking as well, and I will make those official plays. I'm going to take the first half over 65 minus 110 as an official play. It's 63.5 minus 133 at Pinnacle, but I'm going to take 65 minus 110 as a market line right there, and I'm also going to take the over as an official play. I'll announce the line in a second. Now let's get to a play that might be one of my favorite plays of the card. We'll see what you think about this one. St. Joe's against Dayton, right? Dayton off a nice ATS win against Fordham. They hadn't been good ATS before that. St. Joe's, I think, is coming around a bit, a little bit of a subpar team, which is why they will have some betting value in their upcoming few games, maybe, if they are undervalued. And I'm thinking that St. Joe's first half and full game might be good or great plays here. Do you agree, Maxwell Smart?
Well,
No.
as a low bagger, I have the benefit and pleasure and privilege of being connected to so many good college basketball cappers and cappers in general. One of them is a fellow member from my city, Toronto, the Six. His name's Kobe Valentine.
Okay.
He likes St. Joe's tonight.
Yes.
And I like St. Joe's tonight. When I agree with Kobe on a play, I always feel more confident because he is a very good underdog picker. He likes his team on the money line. I'm not that brave tonight, but I think that St. Joe's has adjusted without Lamar Kimball. And I think that even against a very defensive Anthony Grant Dayton team, I think that they're going to be able to have success. And that's because of their brilliant freshman point guard, Jared Bynum, who I am quite enamored with, as you can tell by the tone of my voice. I think that St. Joe's tonight is completely mispriced. And I think that Dayton, even after coming off the George Mason loss, they may be a little overvalued at home. So I'm going to simply just follow my fellow cappers who have taken me to the winner's circle so I can go to the strip club and support local strippers. And I'm just going to simply just go with St. Joe's +9.
Okay, and the fact that I like this, that this is one of my top plays of the card, that doesn't concern you at all?
No, it doesn't concern me because I'm not looking at it from if it's your top play. I'm looking at it, is St. Joe's defensively going to get shut down like they did against St. Louis? I don't see Dayton going on a 20-0 run against St. Joe's and really putting the game out of reach. I think that St. Joe's going to be able to possibly get out to an early lead and then have to battle all the way through. And I think that 9 points is a good number. I wish I got 11 or 11.5, but I'll take the 9.
All right, so I'm going to add on the full game over for Lipscomb Liberty, 138.5 minus 110. I'm adding on St. Joe's +9 minus 105, and I'm also going to add on the first half here as well. Now let's talk about Missouri Valpo. Of course, Valpo is off of 2 margin ATS losses, and they have 2 starters out. Missouri State's off of 2 nice ATS wins. Obviously, of course, as you would expect, there's been a big line move in favor of Missouri State. Is that a line move that you want to tail?
Well, I already got on Missouri State last night at Pick'em before they announced that Marcus Golder and Fazekas would be out. I was discussing it with the great Noli Knows, and of course, when you're talking with Noli knows, you know what you're going to do. You're going to get on the under. I tailed his play on the under in this game. I did get 134, so I did beat the 130s that I think are out there right now. You'd have to double check for me, Pete. But in this game, without these two scores, it puts that much more pressure on Bakari Evelyn and Dion Lavender to stay out of foul trouble. They do have guard depth to cover these missing players in what's his name, Dan Sackey and Javon Freeman. I like how Javon Freeman is adjusted and played on this roster this year. But I think that Missouri State is really humming right now defensively. They're really crashing the boards. And I think that they're playing a very slow style of offense that really makes you defend for 15 to 20 seconds before any kind of actual offense gets played. So I'm going to have to go with Missouri State because I already got them at Pick'em. I will not be telling people to take them at -3.5. This just could be too much line movement for me to be comfortable and then have to live with the fact if it loses. But when you got Tulio Da Silva versus Derek Smits, I think that's a really good neutralization of a key piece for Valpo. And then you got to make sure that Josh Webster is just a solid point guard floor general. I think that if he's using his vision and giving out good passes to guys like freaking Dixon and Keandre Cook, I think that Missouri State's going to get some revenge because you can't forget a couple weeks ago, I think it may have been December, early January, Valpo went into Missouri State. Missouri State was a 5-point dog. Valpo destroyed them, and Marcus Golder had a pretty big part in that, and he won't be playing tonight. So if you want to force me to bet on Bakari Evelyn, I say not so fast. That sounds like a fucking date with a bowl of cock soup, and I don't want that.
Okay,
so
sounds
give
good.
me Mizzou State and the under.
All right, Maxwell Smart. Now let's get to another one of the most interesting games of the card, Wisconsin against Nebraska, right? Cornhuskers' promising season has definitely taken a turn for the extremely worse. Isaac Copeland is out. They've been slumping ATS. Ethan Happ is awesome for Wisconsin. They've covered 3 games in a row. Yet, again, we've seen another slightly head-scratching line move here favoring Nebraska. A lot of people in LoBag comments section not buying the line move and liking Wisconsin more so at the new line than at the opening line. It's now up to plus 150 at 5 dimes and Bet Online and a few other places. You can get Wisconsin on the money line at plus 150. What's your take on this matchup and the line move?
Yeah, this is a really interesting line movement. I think that they're definitely trying to get a lot of Wisconsin money into this freaking racket right now. But you got to think about it from a situational perspective. Tim Miles needs a home win. He needs a win, plain and simple. This team is slumping, and he's going to be on the hot seat. And this is a team that on paper and throughout the non-conference, the beginning of conference season, has shown that they could make the NCAA tournament. So I think that in a game like this, they need to beat Wisconsin. But do you trust Isaiah Roby to pick up the production that Isaiah Copeland is not going to be giving tonight? I think that Wisconsin has guys on their bench like Aleem Ford and Brandon Pritzel who are going to be solid enough to contribute to Trice and Davidson and freaking Ethan Happ. I think that Ethan Happ's going to have another big game. I think that Wisconsin's worth a play on the first half on the spread, and I think that they're worth a money line play. If this was a 4 or 5 point game, then I would just take them on the spread. But if you're going to say that the line's at 3 or 3.5, and then you're going to throw in home court advantage, which probably exists in this Nebraska game, I think that Wisconsin's worth a shot on the money line full game.
Yeah.
So I would take them money line full game. I take them spread first half, and I'm a smart guy, so that's why they call me Maxwell Smart. And I know how to tail smart people, and Noli knows is on the under, and I'll join him with that also.
Yeah, and in yesterday's show, in the late segment of yesterday's show, we talked with Drew Martin. Wisconsin was one of the plays that he gave us yesterday. I don't think he was expecting the line movement that we've seen. Presumably, Drew Martin likes Wisconsin even more now than he did on the overnight line. Now let's talk about Mississippi State, Alabama. This is another play that I was talking about in the morning show, and I know from the comments section that Kobe Valentine likes Alabama here. You know, Alabama's been better recently, ATS. They're off a loss to Baylor, but they rebound well. You know, I don't necessarily want to lay points with Alabama, but, you know, they're a tough team. I think they're going to have another rebounding edge here, and I'd be leaning Alabama first half and full game. I was a little bit confused by the slight line move in favor of Mississippi State, but I think I'm just going to ignore it, and I think I'm liking Alabama, and it's now come back the other way, in fact. It's now back to 2, some places at 2.5. I think I'm liking Alabama here. What do you think?
Yeah, this is a tough game for me. I'm probably not going to be betting it. I'll probably watch it and make a live play. But you got to really take into consideration how Mississippi State's depth pieces are going to play. You got some size there in Reggie Perry, the freshman. You got a decent shooter in Tyson Carter. And you got some good pieces on Mississippi State. But it's going to really come down to how Lamar Peters is playing. You know they're going to get your freaking good offensive production from Q Weatherspoon and Nick Weatherspoon. But it's really going to come down to Lamar Peters and how he shoots the ball and how he's playing with that second unit when he's getting the rest of the starters some freaking rest. And I've been here on the show a couple times, and I talk a lot of shit about Avery Johnson as a collegiate coach and him just being a recruiter and a salesman. But I think that his team has the advantage in this game at home. I'm probably going to only play them maybe on the second half because they are a better second half team statistically. But Alabama's got to win this game tonight. If they want any shot of getting any kind of postseason freaking invite, this is a game that's going to stick out in people's mind. And I think that at home, and if Alabama gets a good home crowd, they should have a good shot to cover this 2 points. All right.
So you don't like Alabama on the first half then?
No, I don't. I have to watch and see how the first 5 minutes go.
All right, I will. All right, I'll do it. I'll take Alabama -2, -103 as an official play. You know, if it loses, that's okay. I don't like your breakdown of why the play makes you nervous, but I'll take Alabama -2 as an official play. Next game we're going to talk about is let's see. Well, let's talk about the Pittsburgh game. Do you have anything to say about that? Because a lot of people saying that they love Pittsburgh here. A big line move in favor of Clemson, but Matt Randall, Pittsburgh is his play of the day. Rich money. I like Pittsburgh at +9.5. A lot of people really liking Pittsburgh here, but a clear market move in favor of Clemson. You have anything to say about this one, Maxwell Smart?
Yeah, I'm just not a believer in Clemson. If you're going to give me 9.5 points, I'm going to take Pittsburgh. Sheldon Mitchell has really regressed this year. You just watched Clemson give away a game that they had handily in the last 2 minutes versus NC State. And that 3-point shot by Braxton Beverly, that's got to leave an imprint. And if I'm Brad Burnell and I was coaching this team in practice this week, the only thing I'd be fucking working on is goddamn free throws because they were taken to the cock soup shed and slaughtered with free throw misses. It cost them the game, plain and simple. So I'm going to just follow the freaking lead of the wise LoBaggers and of Matt Randall because Matt Randall wins on his best bets of the day. We all know that, and I've cashed multiple tickets on that. So thank you, Matt. And I will join you on Pittsburgh tonight. +9.5 is the number, I think.
Yeah, right now it's gotten bet up.
Give me a slice of that pie.
Okay. Yep. Matt Randall's favorite play of the day is Pittsburgh plus the points. Let's talk about Colorado State and Boise State. Maxwell Smart. I know that's a game a lot of people are asking about. Let's talk about that one right now.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of this game. I think that Boise's just a fucking bunch of dickheads. And if I'm gonna bet this game, I'm gonna freaking take Nico Medved's team. I think that as a 2-point dog, the line's telling you that Colorado State does have a chance to win this game. They could get blown up by 20. I think that they're worth a shot here tonight. I won't be playing it personally. I won't be live betting it. I may watch it because Stadium.com, great provider of college basketball streams, will be showing the game. So I probably will watch it. I just won't bet it because I just don't like Boise State. They fucked me over with Nevada, and I won't forget that.
Okay, sounds good. We do like to answer individual questions here. And Mikey Z says, was Max on Eastern Michigan over or under? Can't remember. Max actually didn't have an opinion on the total. It was me who was thinking that the under might be a good play, and that was strongly backed by Mally Mal. He quoted some statistics and trends that supported the under as well, and I might make that an official play. But Maxwell Smart was thinking that maybe the first half under was the play, right, Max? You're nervous about taking a full game under here because of the fouling, right?
Yeah, I'm definitely worried about the fouling for the full game, but for the first half, I think that if Eastern Michigan can control the pace, I think that the first half under has some value.
Right. So I was leaning first half under and full game under, and Mally Mal loves the under for that game as well. All right. I guess let's talk about Ohio State and Michigan line movement in Ohio State's favor. Do you agree with that market movement, Max?
Yeah, this is going to be another tough game for me to get on because I've just seen Michigan just not close games. And realistically, they don't have the type of player that you can rely on to do that. The closest guy they have to that is Jordan Poole, who shoots high percentages from the free throw line and from the 3-point line. But I'm not going to trust Charles Matthews to freaking hit that freaking clutch shot for my cover. I'll trust him to hit a clutch shot to win a game. But at 8.5 points, that doesn't fucking matter. They can win the game and I can still lose. So Ohio State needs a freaking another repeat performance. I think that the Weston brothers are going to be really important in this game. You got to keep them out of foul trouble, and you really got to use their physicality to really put some weight on Brazdeikis and Teskey, because if you watch Michigan games, John Teskey, the guy gets fucking redder than a fucking candy cone. So I'm definitely looking to see him get into foul trouble and see how they go up against his size, because he moves pretty good for a 7-foot big man. But I think that in the end, this game is just going to be something I play on the total. I'm going to hit the over. I think that there will be points. I think that there will be free throws. I think that it'll be close at the end of the game. I think that there will be scoring that leads to the over cashing. So I'm just going to play it simply. Know that Ohio State, while they can play the same kind of defense that Michigan can play, I think that the free throw line and turnovers are going to be the biggest thing for them. And I just think that there'll be enough fast breaks for both teams to get this game over.
All right. Looks like we're going to cover every single game here. Nevada against UNLV. Maxwell Smart, I know that earlier in the morning show you said you love Nevada. A lot of people saying Nevada's going to roll here. There's a revenge factor involved as well. Nevada, you love them at -9.5?
Yeah, I'm not going to say I love, because every time I say I love, it ends up losing. But I admire, I care for Nevada. I want to nurture that 9.5 right to the freaking local strip club so I can buy some chicken tenders and G-strings for my favorite dancers. But getting back to the capping, Nevada's going to win this game. Nevada, this is a battle for, this is an in-state rivalry. This is a game that they're going to want to win. This is a game that they're going to want to come out and put on a show for their fans and for UNLV fans to make them drool and wish that they had this roster. This is a freaking beautiful, deep team. I love Jazz Johnson. I love Trey Porter. I love Trayshawn Thurman. Like, there's no guy on this team that I don't like. And I think that Nevada here is going to cover. I think that the first half, I'm not going to bother with those anymore in Nevada games. I'm just going to take Nevada full game, because if they come out slow and they give UNLV a chance, I feel very confident that they can freaking win the second half by 30 points. And they've showed that in a couple games this season.
Okay, sounds good. The Tennessee game is going off in a few minutes, and I'm liking the under here. I know a lot of low baggers are liking it. I'm going to double up. I'm going to take first half under 73.5, which is -110, which is a market line at a bunch of places, and the full game under 154.5, -110, which is also a market line at a bunch of places. In the afternoon segment yesterday, in the Drew Martin segment in the afternoon show yesterday, he tipped us off to the under in Kentucky Vanderbilt. Now, I don't know if that's a good play, but it has definitely beaten the opener. It opened at around 140. It's now down to 137.5, 138. We know that Vanderbilt likes to play a zone defense against Kentucky, which resulted in a very low scoring game the first time they met this year. What's your take on Kentucky against Vanderbilt?
Yeah, Kentucky's going to have, I think that Kentucky may have some trouble with this Vanderbilt team. I think that Vandy matches up very good athletically, and I think that the zone is a very good buster. It's going to really come down to how Ashton Hagans handles himself on defense. He's got to be the key lead guard. He's got to shut down Saban Lee. I think that this is a very tight rotation that John Cal is running, and I think that it's just building confidence in these Kentucky guys, because they were complaining about minutes. There was a lot of inter-squad competition going on. And I think that Kentucky tonight, realistically on paper, they should cruise to this. But we all have seen Vandy's home court and the effect that it has on teams coming in. And I think that Vandy still has some juice in them left over from the Tennessee game. And I think that they're going to give Kentucky a dogfight tonight. So I'm not going to be playing this because I'm obviously a very loyal Kentucky lover. I love bourbon and I love Kentucky Fried Chicken. So I'm just going to go watch the game, maybe make a live play or tail one of my fellow LoBaggers, because I know that if I tail a LoBagger, I'm going to probably end up cashing a ticket.
Sounds good. And then let's just quickly talk about Northwestern Maryland. I'm off this game. A lot of people are saying that Maryland is one of the best plays on the card. Do you think that that Maryland is an easy play, despite the fact the line has moved in Northwestern's favor in the morning show? A lot of LoBaggers are in the comments section. We're liking Maryland here, but the market, small move in Northwestern's favor.
Yeah, the talent for Maryland at home is going to freaking supersede Northwestern. But Northwestern has experience, and they have guys at all three levels that can freaking play, that can shoot free throws, that don't turn the ball over and play three-point defense. I think that Vic Law, Derek Pardon, and Ryan Taylor can really get up for this game against Maryland. But I think that the freshmen for Maryland are really coming into their own. I like how they're being coached right now. I'd like to see some stylistic changes in their defense, maybe a little more press, maybe a little trap. But I think that Maryland at home is going to be a solid play. They're going to be in for a real tough fight. But I'm going to have to just side with the LoBaggers here and agree with their Maryland play, because personally, I don't really like to bet Northwestern games too much unless I see a very clear advantage. And in this game, Maryland has all the edges in my book.
Okay, and I've decided that I am going to take Central Michigan and Eastern Michigan under first half and full game. Full game 146 minus 110, and the first half we can get 69 minus 115 at Bet Online. I'm taking both first half and full game unders in Central Michigan and Eastern Michigan, and I think I'm liking that play quite a bit. Maxwell Smart, we've officially covered every game on the Tuesday card, but people are asking for your top play or maybe your top 2 or 3 or 4 plays. If you had to identify one or a handful of plays that you're particularly liking tonight, what would those plays be?
Yeah, I just got to go with Nevada. Like Nevada and Virginia, those are the two ones that are the most obvious to me, that have been the most successful for me. And I just got to go with the two teams that I think that in their matchups just have the most advantage. So yeah, just give me Virginia, give me Nevada. All
right, sounds good. And in the meantime, the line continues to move in NC State's favor. Look at this shit, Maxwell Smart. It's down to 6 at Pinnacle. Dropping 6.5. Line continues to move in NC State's favor. Virginia's covered, 10, 12 in a row, something like that. Line continues to move in NC State's favor.
Yeah, it's not surprising me that this is happening. When I'm looking at these ticket counts right now, there is a lot of money on Virginia. It is not a safe play to be putting out, but I got to go with what I see with my eyes, and I'm not going to go just based on the line movement. I think that there's probably a lot of value in NC State, but I think that Virginia tonight, they are the better team. I think that they're going to show it. So I could be slurping cock soup at 9 o'clock, but if I am, I will come tomorrow and I will admit it. But I'm taking Virginia and Nevada. Let's go with those as my best bets today.
All right. That's one thing I love about you, Maxwell Smart. No matter how much cock soup you slurp, you do admit it. Maxwell Smart, thank you so much. Of course, we're going to be joined by you tomorrow for the Wednesday card, on Thursday for the Thursday card. It's so great to have you on the team every day, Maxwell Smart. We're just going to look at some final comments here just to sum up, and then we'll wrap the show up. Yes, people are talking about NC State. Young Vaughn says, I like the NC State side. Very interesting. Comments coming in. All right. Yep, line moving again to NC State. Big Bubba, everyone is noticing that. And Mally Mal says his play of the day, Eastern Michigan under. And I am definitely on that one as well. Maxwell Smart, thanks so much. That's it for the LoShack and the Bag show for Tuesday afternoon. Once again, I've added on a bunch of plays where I'm tailing Maxwell Smart, plays that I liked myself. Before we heard what Maxwell Smart said, Lipscomb against Liberty, first half and full game over. I'm on St. Joe's first half and full game plus the points. Kobe Valentine likes that one. A lot of people are talking about that they watched St. Joe's against against Penn and that they're just a shitty team. I understand that, but they're catching a lot of points here. I'm taking Alabama -2. The line is low for a reason. There's a lot of positives surrounding Mississippi State, but I'm going to take Alabama. Taking Tennessee, South Carolina first half and full game under. That game is already off. And Eastern Michigan, Central Michigan first half and full game under again as well. Matt Randall, another resident expert in college basketball, says that Pittsburgh plus the points is his play of the day. Maxwell Smart agrees with that one. And I guess I got to give a birthday pick to Colin P. 123. He says his 40th birthday today. Colin P. 123 birthday pick. It will be, I'll make this one. Oh, man, the pressure's friggin' on. It's either going to be Lipscomb Liberty over first half or maybe Eastern Michigan, Central Michigan under or first half under. What the hell? I'll make it Eastern Michigan, Central Michigan, full game under 146 -110. Eastern Michigan, Central Michigan, full game under 146 -110. Once again, just because I cashed the birthday pick yesterday easily with the Indiana team total under doesn't mean jack shit, because here we are, a new day, new guy requesting a birthday pick. I honor all birthday pick requests. Colin P. 123, happy 40th birthday. Your official birthday pick is Central Michigan, Eastern Michigan under 146 -110. That is also Mally Mal's play of the day. That's it for the Low Shack in the Bag show for today, and we'll be back tomorrow, Wednesday at 11 a.m. Thanks so much, everyone.